That's me, Wreck-It Ralph. The one with the anvil hands and the breath that smells like a dead animal. Or burnt cabbage, depending on the day. Anyhow, I'm a bad guy. Capital B, capital G. But I'm not a bad guy. I'm gonna wreck it! Yep, okay.
What's up, peeps, and welcome to a video I've wanted to make for a while now. This here is a real gem I found a few months back that I've been meaning to share with you all. When I say it's a gem, I'm not talking diamond in the rough, it's more so the quartz in the gravel. I used to collect quartz from gravel roads when I was a kid, so that joke was funny to me if no one else. This is Wreck-It Ralph DS. It was developed by a studio titled Foundation 9 Entertainment. I did some digging and I found out that the studio was dissolved shortly after releasing this game. I wonder why. The cutscene I opened the video with is the first thing the game shows you when you begin a new game, but that isn't the only rambling Ralph gets in. He also gives you a brief rundown of the story and characters, in case you, for some strange reason, want to play this game without having watched the film. This sequence also shows the first example of the exceptionally low-effort work Foundation 9 did here. I don't know if this is due to laziness in the Foundation 9 or harsh deadlines, but lots of the stuff in this game is janky at best and downright disgraceful at worst. I say that because I don't hate the first Wreck-It Ralph as a movie. I think it had some pretty decent characters and environments, with a handful of fun nods to games and pop culture. The story I could do without, but it's really the environments and ambiance of the film I appreciate. I tell you this because you'll see in a second how they absolutely disgraced a few of my favorite scenes from the movie. Anyways, side ramble over, Ralph is introducing you to the characters and we stumble across this. This is a bug sprite with a very lazy cropping job. The sprite obviously was not made for the game, just repurposed from the movie. This points to a larger overarching problem throughout the whole game, which is, aside from the voice acting, there's absolutely nothing original in it. Even the button clicking sound effect is literally just a walkie-talkie click. The voice acting is okay, but definitely nothing to write home about. After this explanation, we get one more I'm gonna wreck it, along with a I'm gonna fix it from Felix, and then we're into the game.
I can fix it!
I'm gonna wreck it!
Since we're actually playing the game now, let's talk about the mechanics. There aren't many, although I will say Felix is ironically the stronger character when it comes to dealing with enemies. The game revolves around a trade-off mechanic where you can switch between Felix and Ralph at any time you want. You each have separate health bars and moves you can do, and I guess it's more than basic movement, so that's a plus, but it could definitely use some polish. Felix has a double jump he can use, and he can also swing his hammer, chuck a hammer, of which he seemingly has unlimited supply, and fix objects that need to be fixed. You'll always know when something has to be fixed, because Felix's face will literally appear over it. As for Ralph, he can punch, charge through objects, ground pound, and that's about it. The first level I played has you venturing through what I'm pretty sure is supposed to be the router from the movie. Texture work wise, it's alright I guess. The game is 3D, which does set it somewhat aside from other platformers on the DS, such as Mario. Another thing that sets it aside from the other platformers on the DS is that it sucks. I genuinely felt so much hatred while playing this game, as it is just that bad. You don't understand until you actually play it just how frustrating every little thing is. You'll go through a painfully designed level, have a little chuckle at the voice clip when you finish it, and go right back into that deep state of depression playing through the next one. Some other things I want to mention while we're on level 1. The music isn't looped properly. The hitboxes for coins are insanely horrible. I actually think the coins are a whole space above their hitboxes. And how does Felix's building work exactly? You can see he starts whacking stuff with his hammer, the screen shakes, and a plank of steel magically floats down from the sky. Like what? Did he perform some sort of pagan ritual there? Was there a firstborn son under that hammer being used as a sacrifice? I like how even he's confused by how this works, because after he does this, he takes a step back and goes, Anyways, as we make our way further into the shovelware dungeons, a sound effect pops up. A sound effect that, to my knowledge, carries no significance whatsoever. It sounds like a cat meowing. It's very loud, and it means absolutely nothing, and it's so annoying. And it will continue for the rest of the game. Let's see, does anything else interesting happen here? You can phase through walls. Yeah, that's about it. When you finish the level, you are rewarded with the most overwhelming sense of accomplishment you've ever felt as the game simply tells you,
Adequate work.
like, wow, thanks, I guess. Moving on to the next level, this one themed with candy. The background is worse in this one. It just feels super cheap and low budget. I know if you're aware of the plague that is shovelware, you might be tired of me constantly bringing up the low quality, but I have not in recent years played fully through a shovelware game, and the entirety of my experience felt like consuming a substance my body is trying to repel from my system. In fact, the only true shovelware game I think I have played in its entirety is probably the Finding Nemo game, also for the DS. That was one of the first 2 games I ever played on my 3DS, and unlike this game, I actually remember thinking it had some soul and charm to it. Maybe that was because I was a kid though, who knows. I can go and do a review of Nemo DS sometime to see if it holds up to the high regards I remember holding it in. I think the only reason I kept playing this game in the first place and didn't immediately quit is the fact that there are quite a few unintentionally funny moments in the game. Just something about this game can sometimes get a brief sense of amusement out of me, to give me a break from the monotony. This game is just so frustrating to control. Let me play you some clips to see if you can feel my frustration through the screen. Also, there's this sequence where you have to run through this gate before the time runs out, and the little beeping sound effect it does during that is absolutely horrendous, not to mention it's panned entirely to the right. After we get to the win zone, which, by the way, is not indicated in any form, it's just another space, I get told that I made my mama proud.
You just made your mama proud.
I don't think my mom should be proud of me at all for playing Wreck-It Ralph DS. I think she should tell me to get better taste in video games. I think she should tell me I wasted almost 2 hours of my life playing this game that I'll never get back, and that I should be ashamed. In this next level, the whole level is covered in this pink goo stuff. It looks rather inviting, but wouldn't you know it's essentially lava, and you die upon touching it. Also, when I died, Vanellope told me that I was a complete and utter failure.
Look on the bright side, a lot of people are complete and utter failures.
She's not wrong, but it was very inconsiderate of her to say that out loud. Then we get to our first boss fight, and guess what? You literally just spam him with the hammer and he dies. No fun gimmicks, no cool moves, nothing. After gathering some pieces for a repair, we get to see the car that Felix fixes drive and eliminate a few bricks that we would usually be able to destroy ourselves. Also, get a load of this camera angle. This game has popsicles that hurt you. Practically thinking, why would popsicles hurt you? Have you ever been hurt by a popsicle? I guess it doesn't matter too much anyways, because the health in this game is horribly scaled. I did not die once to something that wasn't an instant kill, because both Felix and Ralph have so much health, and if one of them gets low, you can always just swap to the other. Also, there was this bug enemy stuck in the floor, which you couldn't hit. Yeah, he was there. After completing a level and hitting my little dancey dance, Vanellope tells me I should run for office.
You're very talented. You should consider running for office.
On the next level, we get to see the thing that I probably appreciate the most out of this game, and that is the Sugar Rush backdrop with all the cars racing. It's a little bit visually distracting from the rest of the action, but I feel like someone actually put some time and effort into this and cared about it, which is more than can be said for the rest of the game. There's another voice line after completing a level that says, "I admire you and all that you stand for." Remember when I told you they took my favorite scenes and ruined them? This is the brick pile, which although somewhat basic is one of my favorite scenes in the film. It's not that the background is done poorly or anything in this game. It's decent for the DS, but man, look what they did to my boy. Something else I should mention is that the numbers take up way too much space when you collect coins. It is really distracting. This game just has a problem with distracting visuals in general, to be honest. Also, since when is there a deadly river in the middle of the lawn? I was just minding my business, charging through the level, and I wound up having to start over. There's this section where you have to ride on this platform underneath these crushing structures, and it is just horribly designed. It's timed in a way in which the destructors are practically unavoidable, and they give Ralph the shakes for some reason. That's all I have in the script for that section, but I just want to ramble about it a little bit more. This has to be one of the least intuitively designed sections in any video game I've ever played. There's no indication of what you're supposed to do. To my knowledge, you can't just jump to the next platform because you'll hit the thing anyways and you'll take damage, so I really don't understand what the goal is supposed to be here. You can't jump over them, they still damage you even though you're just touching them. Yeah, doesn't make sense. Very frustrating. From here on out, I don't have much to talk about. There's another zone that just feels like a Metroid ripoff, where the boss faces the wrong direction the whole battle, and then you climb up a ladder and you're just done with the game. That's it. Oh well. I hope y'all had a good time watching me baby rage over a 10-year-old shovelware DS game. I've been meaning to shift the channel over into more DS/3DS game reviews, and I'll be doing more of these over the coming few months. So you let me know what games you want to see next.